In this video, we are going to talk about how to expedite your Spanish nationality application. So make yourself comfortable if this topic interests you, because by the end of this video, you will know the best way to do it and whether it's really worth using one of these expediting methods or simply waiting, because that's another possibility. Be careful not to fall for all the stories they tell you out there, as they might be trying to get some money out of you. There are cases where the smartest thing to do is simply wait. So without further ado, let's get started. First, let me clarify that this video is useful whether you haven't submitted your nationality application yet or if you already have, because there are mistakes you can avoid from the start and it will pay off to have done things right from the beginning. But it's also true that most of those watching me will have already submitted their Spanish nationality application and it might be a bit stuck, or they submitted it, it's not very stuck, it's still a short time since submission, but they are interested in ensuring it doesn't get stuck and that it gets processed quickly. Well then, these are the tips you can apply to your file for that purpose. 1. Submit it online. If you are watching me and you submitted the application in person, then please write a letter withdrawing that application and resubmit it as soon as possible, but online. Submitting the Spanish nationality application by residence in person is the biggest mistake you can make regarding how long your process will take. Basically because it will first have to go from where you submitted it to the Ministry of Justice, where it will have to wait for an official to take the time to metadata it, scan it, upload it to the system, assign it a file number, and then it will finally be queued to be resolved. But all of this, which can easily take more than a year, can be avoided if you simply submit the Spanish nationality application by residence online via the internet. Basically, what do you need? Well, you need a digital identity, or you need to use a professional to submit it on your behalf. Period. If you haven't submitted it, then there's no need to talk, just do it directly, telematically. If you've already submitted it, as I said, write a withdrawal letter and then immediately submit it telematically. We could help you with this if you get tangled up and it's complicated for you. You know, that's what we're here for. And if you've already submitted it and did it telematically, then let's move on to the second piece of advice. Keep the notifications absolutely under control. When you apply for nationality telematically, you consent to receiving electronic notifications in the vast majority of cases. And if not, well, still, strictly monitor the notifications, whether you have consented to them being telematic or only by postal mail in person. You need to keep a close watch on the mailbox where those notifications will arrive. Whether it's your home mailbox, the physical address you provided, or your digital mailbox, your citizen folder, your Deju. Where the notifications that the administration makes available to you arrive, absolutely safeguarded. In this way, you will be able to control all communications made by the Ministry of Justice regarding your file. You will be able, for example, in the event that they are requesting some documentation from you, to see which documentation they are requesting, provide it, and thus ensure that your file is not delayed and continues its process as quickly as possible. Possible, but if you do not access that notification, you miss it. If they are requesting something from you and you do not provide it, they will archive your file. Even if you do not access the notification, it does not matter. There is generally a period of 10 days in which, if you do not access it, the notification is still considered to have been made even if you have not accessed its content, and it will have full legal effects. Therefore, the period, which is usually 3 months, will start to run for you to provide the missing documentation. After that, if you do not provide it, they may issue a resolution to archive your file because you did not provide that documentation. So be extremely attentive. If it is in a physical mailbox, the same applies. Be very attentive to all communications that arrive there. And our advice, once again, is to authorize electronic notifications as much as possible and keep this matter well controlled. Because with physical mailboxes, many things can happen. From issues with the delivery company to someone stealing your mail, which is easy. In Spain, mailboxes are usually outside. Collectively, os comento, a human error when depositing the letter, etc. Many things can happen, so as much as possible, opt for electronic notifications. If you don't know how to obtain your digital identity, consult us. We also have videos on the channel addressing this topic. The third measure you can take to expedite the response to your Spanish nationality application is to submit a procedural impulse letter. If you basically already saw that you did everything right, that you provided the necessary documents for your application, whether you submitted it yourself or entrusted it to professionals, it's fine, it was submitted correctly, and what's happening is that they are taking longer than expected. By the way, we have videos where we talk about how long a case should take, but as of today, we are in March. In March 2025, currently, they are generally taking between 4 and 6 months to be resolved from the time we submit them. So, if it takes longer than that and you are still in this period, you should know that it might be unusual. Although, the Ministry of Justice does not resolve in order of submission. There are cases that take less than 4 or 6 months and others that take longer, which is normal, but just to give you a rough idea of how long it should take. So, is it taking longer than expected? Then write a procedural impulse letter where you basically tell the administration to please take a look at your case because everything is in order and to resolve it. If something has been forgotten, if the case was very archived, it's like raising your hand, okay? It might not be a sure thing, but the worst diligence is the one that isn't done. It could be a procedural impulse letter. We have had good experiences where in some cases this unblocks the case and a resolution is achieved, especially when a year hasn't passed yet. Remember that they have a maximum of 1 year to resolve your Spanish nationality application. Fourth tip to speed up the process. This tip can only be applied if a year has already passed since you submitted your nationality application. By now, you more or less know where things are headed. It's the famous and often infamous administrative contentious appeal against the tacit denial resolution of a nationality case. Basically, the legal claim, the judicial appeal as it's called. And it's an appeal, a claim that must be made for which you need to have a lawyer and you also need a court representative. And you basically have to sue the administration because it has exceeded the 1 year period it had to respond. Basically, because if that period is exceeded, it is presumed that there is a denial resolution. So what you are doing is appealing that denial resolution because they had no reason to issue it since everything in your file was in order. It's a fiction simply to expedite the process, but, well, I explain it to you so you understand. Be careful with this appeal because many people recommend it indiscriminately just because a year has passed. And it is not advisable in all cases, especially in files where we can already see an advanced state. By the way, in one of the previous points I mentioned to you, monitor notifications very well. Well, for this you not only have to keep an eye on the mailboxes, but you could also do it by checking the status of your file. In the description box of this video, we will leave a link where you can find an official consultation page where you can, with your file data, check the status of your nationality application. There, you will also find out how it is progressing. And usually, when you are required to do something, be concerned, because there might be something you haven't seen or need to manage as a general rule. I mention it because on that same consultation page, we can see how the file is progressing. It's not exact mono, but it does give us an idea. If we see that this is a file already in the final stages, if you want to know the stages of a nationality file, we have videos on our channel again. I will leave a link in the description box where you can go to watch them, specifically the one that talks about the stages of a nationality file. We observe the stages, we see that it is progressing, that it is in the final stages and the year is fulfilled, then we would recommend waiting. Why? If we see that it has progressed, that it is taking longer than usual, but it is progressing, meaning it is not stuck, what we would recommend in that case is to wait. Wait, because it is likely to be resolved without the need for an appeal. Keep in mind that the administrative contentious appeal is not something immediate. It's not like it used to be. For a while it was like that, where you simply notified that you were going to file it and they resolved it. Now it's not like that. Now it's the administration. I don't know why. It's inefficient, but well, many things about the administration are not understood. It goes to the last consequences. They practically wait until the judge's ruling condemning them to be able to issue the resolution that resolves your nationality application. That easily takes more than 6 months. So, a file that has progressed, that is in the final stages, that says, for example, in qualification, the year is fulfilled and we see that it has been progressing, we would recommend waiting because if you file the appeal, it will take a year and a half and it might be that in that year and a half without the appeal, saving you all the money that the appeal costs, it would have already been resolved. So, you have to look at it or also see what benefits you more because many times the procedural impetus document and other pressure measures such as complaints about delays both internally within the Ministry of Justice and to the Ombudsman can also help to expedite, which are the procedural impetus measures I mentioned, the document and all that. So you have to look at it. Depending on each case, it will make more or less sense to use the administrative contentious appeal, the judicial appeal, especially because it is not very economical. As I said, for many of our clients, we recommend opting for procedural impulse measures, which are administrative procedures that cost much less. And in practice, we have seen that their effectiveness is not much different in terms of time compared to the appeal, and they can be much more economical. Finally, we provide the information and you are the one who makes the decision. As the fifth and final measure to expedite your nationality application, it is extremely important that you review it from top to bottom. If you submitted it yourself, then take whatever you used as a guide to submit it and check point by point that you have everything, that you provided it, that the documents are legible, that they were valid at the time of submission, that everything is complete, that you filled out all the forms, and review it from top to bottom with a magnifying glass to ensure everything is correct, because that way, if there is any problem, you will have already resolved it before the administration finds out, or perhaps during that review, you discover that they made a request, that you need to rectify it, and you obtain valuable information that will ultimately speed up your resolution. There you have it, 5 measures. If you have done any others and they worked for you, let us know in the comments so we can all benefit. And remember, if you don't want to complicate things with this topic, then write to us in the pinned comment where you have a link to directly schedule a consultation with me or a member of my team, and also in the description box. Most of these consultations are free, so take advantage of them. Additionally, we have a satisfaction guarantee, which means if you don't obtain your nationality, which is what you came looking for, and this doesn't happen due to your own fault, like if you've been out there causing trouble, getting a criminal or police record, or ignoring any recommendation we gave you. In general terms, it works like this. We will give you that satisfaction guarantee, and if a favorable result is not achieved, you won't pay us a cent. I haven't seen anyone else in the market offering this guarantee, and we do it because we are fully committed to your case. It's our differentiating factor and what has allowed us to be in the market for so many years, during which we haven't stopped growing. You know specific questions in the comments, follow us on Instagram at Legal in Hispano Official, where I share personal tidbits. If you like gossip drama, that's your place. Go there, Legal Left in Official Spanish. Thank you for your comment, for your like, for sharing this with someone you think it might help. And don't forget, for God's sake, what's appearing somewhere on the screen. Subscribe to our channel so you don't miss all the upcoming videos. We try to post videos every day, so it's extremely important that you subscribe so you don't miss them. And somewhere else on the screen, I don't really know where, a new video will appear that is surely of interest to you, so you can go watch it on this topic. Thank you so much again for being here. See you next time.